Should have my ukulele play some more songs
I know, huh?
next time. So I'll be like, "Welcome to the ASC Quickie, 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 Quickie." We're gonna get in and get out.
Get in and get out. Get in and get out. Get in. All right, we're live, all places.
Let's do this.
Let
Come
me
on,
just
have
wait one more second. Hey everyone, welcome. Happy Thursday. Last Thursday of September. Oh my
September.
God, this year is going by so fast.
I know. I thought you were gonna talk about last Thursday, and I was like, "Wait,
Yes,
but
it is the last Thursday of
it is the
September.
last Thursday." We weren't here last Thursday though.
We weren't. We took a rest break, which is perfect for our topic. So this is the ASC Success Quickie, and if you're not familiar with what the ASC is, the ASC stands for the Accountability Success Circle. It is a joint venture between myself, Gary Ware, and Apryl Schluter, my really good friend and cohort here. And what we're going to do is give you just the tips. Some actionable things just to help you get more out of life so that you can get more done while having more fun. And this week, we're talking about rest, not just why you should rest, but how to get real rest. Because if you're like the two of us, you are the go, go, go sort of overcommitted, recovering people person type person. And yeah, so let's get into it, Apryl. Hi,
Yeah.
Apryl. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for just setting all this up and making sure that we are holding ourselves accountable. So we were saying that last week we kind of had to take some rest. Things got a little bit crazy. We want to try to do this every week, but we also understand that, sometimes, even though this is going to be a routine that we try to stick to, sometimes it might get too crazy to the point where we might just need to take a break. And so this is a perfect tip to share because I think a lot of times people that are super busy don't like to rest or they want to rest, but they just feel like they don't have time to. So I think the first tip that we want to share and make sure that we know that we acknowledge is that we need to see rest as a benefit. If we go in to be like, oh, I want to take a break, but I don't have time to take a break, but I feel obligated to take a break, it's not going to be real rest because you're just feeling like you're doing it and going through the motions of getting real rest rather than actually getting the rest that you need. So take a look at it and, make that mindset shift and say, I get to rest. I've been working really, really hard for however long, and this is my reward. So that's tip number one. Gary, do you have anything to add to that tip?
Yeah. First and foremost, if you can relate to any of that, please give us some of those like thumbs up, some likes, some hearts. If you're the type of person that you have to just remind yourself that, oh my gosh, this is a benefit. Mindset is everything. Like when we talk about, what I talk about a lot is the benefits of play. If you don't see play as a power up, you're one, not going to see the benefit of it. And two, when you actually do it, it's not going to give you the full benefits. The same goes for rest. If you do not see rest as something that is quote unquote necessary, you're not going to make space for it. So actually, I have a question. If you're watching this, whether you're watching this live with us now or on the replay, rest is blank. Fill in the blank. Rest is blank for you. What is it? For me, I used to say rest is something that I get to do after I get all my work done. However, I'm coming to terms to realize that rest is something that is necessary. I don't know about you, Apryl, she's in the same boat. We are parents and we have young kids, and without proper rest, I am not going to show up for my son Garrett like I should, or for my wife Courtney. I'm not going to be able to give my 100%, but it comes first seeing it as a benefit. And if you need something to help you identify rest as a benefit, here's a fun fact. One, if you go without sleep for more than 24 hours, you are clinically drunk. You have the same physiological things that are going through your body as if you were drunk. Two, if you do not take a break within working more than 6 hours, your productivity rate goes down because you're more prone to making mistakes. So if you're the type of person that values productivity, you're going to want to take breaks. So that's what I have to add to that.
Awesome. All right.
Brings us to number 2. Tip number 2, which is consider other types of rest. Rest is not just laying your head down on your pillow and taking a nap. Rest is anything that takes your mind off of what you're doing. And so, again, if you know me and know the work that I'm doing, it's not going to come as a surprise to hear that play is a type of rest. You know, when we were in school and I'm talking about elementary school particularly, we'll go and we'll work. And then what does the teacher do? Oh, the bell rings. We go out and do what? Recess. We play. And think about when you did that. You willingly did it. You had some fun. You probably exerted some energy. And then when you came back, boom, you were focused. You were dialed in. As adults, we forget about that. So I'd like to invite you to think of what are some other things that you could do to take a break from work. Apryl, what did you have for that?
I mean, I think that one of the, and this is like the nerdy side of me, but like I feel like the way that I rest sometimes, and this might not seem like rest, but I consider it as rest, as allowing myself to almost kind of like organize and plan my calendar. It is something that I love to do as somebody who's super organized, and it also gets me out of the mode of like just fighting fires, where I can take this time and say, okay, here's what I've got to do tomorrow. So it allows me to slow down before I just go. And if I don't do that, then it's like, okay, well, what do I have to do next? And okay, now here's that. And oh, here's this email. And here's this text that came through. And oh, crap, I forgot to do this. So allowing myself to plan is kind of a way to keep myself in check before I go and do the things. What do you think? Do you think that's appropriate?
No, totally agree. And again, it depends on how you look at it. And so just wanted to make sure that we're considering all the people that are watching. Joy over on LinkedIn, she said, rest is blissful.
Yes.
That is important. And she also brought up a good point. When we rest, that's when our body regenerates. Don't you want to regenerate cells? And then we got Paul, my boy Paul. Love Paul. I got to see Paul over the weekend. Rest is loved. I love that. Really good.
I thought about rest is recharge. Like I just keep on thinking of myself as a battery that like, do I really want to operate like and put more energy out when my battery is not recharged? Totally.
We charge this thing religiously. Why don't we charge this thing and this thing?
100%.
So
yeah. So that's tip number 2. And we've got one more tip to share because we want to be super quick. But this is the one that I feel is almost the most important, is to allow yourself to have a transitional slowdown period, because, and this maybe goes along with, the planning that I was mentioning in tip number 2, but do you ever try to like go and work out and then go and try to sleep? Like you're kind of energized and you need something that's going to slowly get you into that mode of, okay, I'm getting ready to go to bed, or I'm getting ready to do something that's not going to take a lot of brain space. If you don't allow that transition, you might still be, kind of wired. And I think about this when I do yoga. I will come out of just working and I take a class at like 1:30 in the afternoon, and I'm still like, okay, my work day is kind of done today. And what am I doing? But it takes me like almost half of the session to realize that I need to slow down. And then all of a sudden, you're doing like Shavasana and I'm like falling asleep at the mat, but I feel so rested. And then I can kind of get back into the second half of my day. And so allow yourself that transition piece. Gary, do you have any other comments on this tip?
Yeah. And we were briefly talking about this in our webinar that we had earlier this week. And I'm going to place a link to that if you didn't get a chance to attend that in the comments, just so you can see that. But one thing, just to piggyback on what you were talking about, Apryl, is that our brains are always going, right? So if we don't make that space to get that out of our brains onto paper, it's going to continue to process. And that is a good like a good practice is to have that transitional slow down period. I know, like with my son Garrett, we say, "All right, Garrett, 10 more minutes, and then it's time for bed," and it like gets him primed for bedtime. Why don't we do that as adults? So if you are watching, you have any, comment, please leave that in the comments. But one other thing, and I got this from Vanessa Van Edwards, who's we both know, she is a people expert. She talked about like bedtime, thinking of it as your bedtime palace. And again, if we think of it as a sacred space, we think about, getting ready for that. We warm up to go work out. Why don't we cool down to go to bed? And then I think our bodies will be more ready for that. Like usually what happens is, I'm speaking from experience, we drain to like zero and then like we're passed out on the couch and then we like sort of crawl to bed. Why don't we just, make that space to get ready for rest so that we can prime our bodies to go into that deep REM sleep that we all need and love. What do you think about that?
I love it. And I think that that's perfect. But I think that that's all we have to share on this. And we'll be back either next week or, very soon with tip number 3. But thank you so much for checking us out. Again, we are the success team for the Accountability Success Circle. And if you want to learn more about our program and the things that we do to help people live their lives in a way that's fun and productive, go ahead and you can check it out at either of our websites. But I think Gary's going to put a link, breakthroughplay.com/ASC, or Accountability Success Circle. He'll put the link down there. But really check us out and see if this is something that you would might benefit from. So thank you so much. And we will share another quick tip very soon.
Yeah. All right. Bye, everyone.